All right, everybody, what's going on? Today's seminar is about shadow alchemization, and I will explain to you what it is, how you do it, and I will warn you, the process is emotionally painful. You have to be completely honest about yourself, as the Gnostics would say, to thine own self be true, and know thyself. This includes all of our shortcomings, our wrongdoings to other people. Whenever you lie to your soul or your spirit, it is basically telling that inner warrior or inner healer or whoever it may be that your self-talk is programming your aura, basically, in a way. So what I'm doing is trying to help people get educated on the depths. Sometimes we'll be offended by certain lessons or certain things that we have gone through in life, but the point that I'm trying to make here is it's one of the most important steps that we must take to cleanse ourselves, cleanse your soul. Traumas, right? Traumas, pains, hurts, sorrows, everything that you have held in and haven't allowed to heal. Those are the things that I'm talking about. So the process is being real and honest with yourself and other people. It's just to get rid of the karmic debt that is holding you back in life. It's like I receive instant karma because some of us, like, we're meant to be educators and mentors and what have you, like a teacher to the newer souls that are coming onto the planet, right? So part of the process is shadow alchemy, and shadow is just your darker self, your like unhealed aspects and the things that you've went through that have hurt you or traumatized you. Those are the things that, okay, asking your inner child, what is it that has caused you this pain? What can we do to make you feel better about it, or to confront that it could be an ancient pain, also something that happened in a previous life that you've held onto, like unrepented sins, wrongdoings that you've went through life denying from somebody who deserved an apology, or say I stole from somebody and I didn't feel bad for it. I would have to make that right. I would have to go to them and say, hey, look, I'm sorry that I took XYZ from you and kept it for myself. Here, I offer you it back. Go make it right. And that fixes the negative karma or the bad luck that is tied to that bad deed. So going inward, what is it that I've been offended about this for? Or what am I hurt about? with what they said or what they did or what I've done, what will be the determining factor of what's going to heal that pain. Sometimes you just have to poke the hole and let it sit. It's about meditation too. And when we take these pains and these shortcomings and these faults that we don't want to admit to half the time, then when we confront them, it's like a burden off the chest. We shouldn't have to go through life being scared or feeling bad for the things that we've done, because by nature we're going to do what is best for us. And yes, a lot of people that I've met in my life have been very poorly mentored or, advised on how to do certain things or how to handle certain situations. And, the biggest enemy of ourselves is ourselves. And we hold the keys to our own dungeons. And if we want to break out of this dungeon, we have to go inward and rescue ourselves in a way. We have the keys. We hold the keys to every door that is within us. And once a person goes through soul ignition, that's when you gain that wisdom and the intelligence to use the utmost pristine discernment on things you're about to do, or you get clarity on the things that you want to know, and you get, you feel bad for the things that you do, big or small, to anybody or anything. Like, another way to put this is you're more careful with your choices and in the actions that you choose to involve yourself with. And so as you make more discerning choices and you weigh out your odds and your pros and cons, you learn that choosing the lesser of two evils is probably the better way to go, even though the things we're presented in life are, well, those are both like bad choices to do. But, if I'd had to choose, mother always told me to eat the lesser of two evils. So, choose the lesser of two evils. And it's, and you don't even have to do that route. You can do like, I know what the best is. I know what the non-evil choice is. So I'm going to choose that instead of either one of those two options. And that's how you protect yourself too. Like, I've just stepped into this defending my life type thing, and not just my physical life, but my I'm like my consciousness, my emotions. And believe me, when people cross you on those and they step over the boundaries and they trespass against you in any way, shape, or form, that builds a defensiveness within you. And you protect that which is yours, which dwells within you, right? It's the driver of the vehicle that you're, in another sense, I'm walking around because my host, or I'm the host of the spirit soul that's inside of me. So it is in control, right? That's what is supposed to happen. I'm not talking about evil entities and shit that connect to us, because those things, those cause division, those cause wars and drama and arguments. When you are refraining from all of those and you know the difference, and you are backing off of anything that's going to raise the defense mechanisms, then you're doing the right thing if you're avoiding all those hard things. But then again, sometimes we have to go through hardships and suffering in order to evolve and grow and learn, and gain the wisdom from those experiences. Because anybody can just read a book or see somebody else go through it and know not what to do. What I'm not going to do is, the way they handled it, because that person got in trouble. I'm going to do something different, learning through observation, right? And so part of the shadow alchemization process is just that. It's making sure that you are doing the right choice, making the right decisions, and acting in the correct, appropriate manner with or without a crowd around you. If you're just by yourself, like me right now, yeah, I'm pacing a little bit, but that helps get the message out rather than sitting still and, stagnant energy don't go anywhere, but make you irritated and stir crazy and bored, and that's that five letter word that starts with a B and ends with a D that always gets us in trouble. Bored. I'm bored. So we go out and do something stupid, having fun. But anyways, so shadow alchemization is breaking into our dungeon and freeing our fears and our doubts and our, the neglects and all the things that we have ignored about ourselves. Like when you get that feeling that, the knocking on the inner door and you ignore it, that's the will and the spirit trying to tell you something, right? Like, I got a bad feeling about this. Oh man, just forget it. All right, let's go. And then you end up doing something, or something happens where something devastating happens to you or another person. That's because we weren't listening to our guts or our inner voice, And the inner voice is never going to tell you to go do something hurtful or endanger or harm another person, place, or thing. So this is how I distinguish between what's holy and what's unholy, is by what is the voice telling me to do? Is it telling me to avoid that situation? Most of the time, yes. And then there's times where we're just so allowing the intrusive thoughts to take over. That's the demon part. That's the darkness part that we're supposed to battle back and not be a part of, because believe it or not, that's bad karma. Doing a bad deed is bound to you and whoever has been involved in doing that, but the receiver of the bad deed, they're actually getting the opposite. They're going to have good karma come back to them because they're the ones that went through the wrong. All right. They're the ones that got done the wrong. So naturally, the ether will provide for that person instead of taking away. And it says all your bad deeds, they will be weighed and measured, and you will be reaped from those rewards in the next life or in this one, depending on the severity. Like the caliber that you want to inflict upon somebody else is going to be dealt back to you the same caliber. Maybe you leave them a little more, like three times as powerful. Just a little bit of introduction to what shadow alchemy is. And, yes, when I get deeper into this topic later on, it is going to trigger emotional responses, or cognitive responses to where people are going to get upset or offended with the lessons, but the lessons aren't there to offend you. The lessons are there to help you, to educate you, to prepare you for what's to come. Like, just because I avoided that situation doesn't mean that I'm done with the tests. Yeah, I know I walked away. That's the proper thing to do. And then when it comes back again, when it comes full swing back into your immediate reality, you're supposed to remember what you did last time that worked. So what's the definition of insanity? Does anybody know? Go ahead and leave it in the comments. The definition of insanity. Oh, that's insane. The definition of insanity. I'll give you some time to put the answer in the chat there. It's something Einstein said. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. If it didn't work the first time or two, it ain't going to work. So you have to think of a different method. It's all right. So we don't want to be insane. We don't want to do the same things over and over again, expecting different results, because the results aren't going to change. It's about approach. It's about the level of, you know, offendedness, or the level of cognitive dissonance or headbutting that you're going to put into the approach. I like to approach things with the most lacking of any type of hostility, because when you show offendedness or hostile or mad, or that made me mad, and you take it out on that person, it's not that person's fault that that person got mad about what that person said. It's the message that they got offended with or mad about. So it's not that person's fault for saying something that made this person mad, unless it was directed completely at them. When it's a direct attack and it's, you're a piece of crap because you did this to that person or whatever, that would be a direct attack. Like what happens to me sometimes is people will attack me for no reason and try to pin things on me that I had no involvement in. And that's hurtful stuff, but it's slander. It's deprivation of character. It's things that make you act out of normal character. Gang stalking, or or crowd stalking. They call it both, because a crowd will come after you for being a good person and try to make you feel bad for doing the right thing. That's, oh, hell no. Never feel bad for doing the right thing for yourself first. You are number one in your life. So before we get off track here, it's all part of alchemizing our shadows, our negativities, our blindnesses, our deafness. And like it says in the book too, I don't like to be religious, but they took ancient writings and rewrote them and then presented it to us in a monotheistic way. But it's not that way. It's polytheism. It's all right. I'm an earthling, so what I would rather be out in nature and receiving the healing energy of the planet in its natural place, in its organic world, and that's more soothing than going to church, to be honest with you. So that's about all I got for you today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for leaving comments. Like this, please. Share it around. Put some cherries in the comments. Help the algorithm notice me and not put my channel at the bottom of the list. I got ideas coming up that will be beneficial, like this one. I'm sure that I might have said things you already know, but it's new to me, so I'm putting it out there in my way of understanding. So thanks again for coming on. Salute. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, have a wonderful day.
Just made it higher.
I hooked up with a buddy who makes music. And this is an instrumental that he shared with me. There's 3 of them all together, and he wants me to drop a couple of bars on one of his instrumentals. So this is one of them. I'm going to be practicing here soon again. So peace.